Man, what an incredible time in life we live. So instead of crying and complaining, I feel obligated to roll up my sleeve and jump in. Lead by example. That's the price of glory. Demand the price of glory. So if you look up there, that's an actual Japanese manga style, which is one of the two options that we had. I gotta say had, because most of you guys blew it. And those of you who have your comics coming American style or Magna style are the two options. So decide. If you pre-registered already, please contact Magna or American. So it's Japanese, Magna, or American cartoon. Make that decision, CJ. Make that decision. The rest of you guys who I already interviewed. And I want to thank you guys again for having the trust and respect and the return back to the UMAN OGs. Unified Martial Arts Network OGs. Older guys and older girls. The fountain of youth. That's what I want. And I want to make this into a national tour. Region 11 launch is March 28th at the LPAC Center, Latino Pastoral Action Center at 14 West 170th Street in the Boogie Down Bronx. Now, I say that because I take this information and repurpose it for what would be content to be able to educate people and motivate others. It's interesting how things... Okay, those who you think will do something won't. Those who you think won't will. Those who you think can't can, and those of you who can't you think can't. That's just the way it is. The Creator has a sense of humor. He made me. Besides that, you get the love and attention and help from the last person you expect. And when you start thinking that people owe you something, that's a big mistake. That's not the way it works.
Hello, how y'all doing? My Nana's sleeping, sorry.
That's a little bit of wisdom. We created an AI model that's singing one of the songs for her first. Man, I'm not even sure I'm going to expose that yet, but let's say her first book. So I'm excited, guys, because not only are we having this tournament, and whoever comes. Whoever doesn't matter. Everything, I leave that to God. If you think you needs to be there, be there. But guys, you're only going to be there three different ways. You're going to spectate, pay at the door, or before that. If you pay now, it's $40. After the 20th, which is next week, then it's going to be the regular price of what would be the door, which is $50 for the eliminations. Presently, it's $60 for the VIP. The VIP is the eliminations. That start at 9:30. I should say 10 o'clock, 9:30 the door open. The finals, which start at 5 o'clock. And then finally, the birthday bash and after party for Miss Little Bit and Master Ty. So it's going to be an incredible day. And people are coming from 10 states so far. And I hope they will make it, because there are some challenges when it comes to this TSA right now. Right? So there may be some disappointments, and some people have to drive. So point still to this: the show must go on. I had changed the date. Actually, this is the third date. Now I am going to say this: the next one will be the 1-year anniversary of the initial September 20th one, which happens to be this time September 19th. So that's going to be a big one. I'm going to start promoting that ASAP, and my goal is to get people from other countries there. Let's get some OGs from Canada, from Puerto Rico, from Venezuela, from England, Ireland, anywhere. Come on down, let's have some fun because I'm having a ball, guys. I'm 20, some people say 60, and I'm feeling phenomenal. Did over an hour sparring today. I'm doing my 1,000 kicks between 5 and 6 times a week. I'll pick up the pace. I'm fighting April 12th myself, and then May, I believe, is around the same time. But you reverse time. You honestly reverse time. To me, when I have to compete, I hear that Rocky song. I'm rolling up my sleeves, baby. Yes, that it looked like me. See, that looks like me. Yes, because it is me, and it could be you too. Except that this is the difference. For $100, up until this Friday that just passed, you could have got your own 10 to 12 page comic book. That's worth at least $500 alone. You could also have an interview, your own song, just a whole media package that most of you guys, I mean, let's be honest, you guys don't even think that you deserve it, and maybe you don't, so that's why you don't do it. But realistically, I know one thing, the UMAN OGs are going to be promoted by me and other people, because your guys are the ones who are stepping up to the plate, not making excuses. Of course, spectators are very important. It's $75 at the door for the VIP, $60 presently up until March 20th. And it's going to be $100 up until, I'm giving you guys a break, until March 20th. $100 up to 3 divisions. After that, it'll be $100 for the first division, $25 for each other division, and that's what everybody else is charging. I'm giving away $500 grants, a total of $3,500 from the age brackets of 30 to 40, 500 fighting informs, 50 and 60, 500 fighting informs, 70 and above, 500 fighting informs, and women. Total for $3,500. However, there is a stipulation. A minimum of 5 people per ring. Otherwise, I'm giving the minimum, regardless, of $250, which is $500 more than any of the biggest NASCAR tournaments, and $250 more than any of the so-called WACO and WKC and etc. tournaments, because they give away nothing. You get zero for those world championships. And I know people are involved with this for money, but the truth of the matter is that at least if you buy yourself a dinner to give your wife will appreciate it. And so that's one of the ways. Now, I am working on sponsoring. And I got an incredible sponsorship package right now. It's only $500 or $100, and I should say $1,000. If you guys are interested, contact me, and I'll send you that. But, I am starting to promote the next tournament right now because I want to make sure that it's chock full of sponsors and all, and media attention and so on and so forth. So, I didn't have enough mental capacity to do this tournament as much as I did last time, I guess. But 6 months from now is the next one. I'm going to start promoting that ASAP. So September 19th, New York City, Boogie Down Bronx, same location. That might be the last time we have to do it in that same location as soon as we outgrow it. But I'm looking forward to seeing some of my friends. I haven't seen them since the last UMAN OG. And some of you guys are really blowing it. I got to say it like that. You're blowing it. You got an opportunity to become a champion again. Of course, do it at your discretion. Most of you who have bad knees and bad back and bad hips is because of the lack of exercise. When I share information like lay-down kicks, and people who can't kick for shit have an opinion, like, it's crazy. It's always the fat fucks that always trying to give you some advice on weight. You ever notice that? It's always the guy that had a seizure, a stroke, a freaking heart attack, diabetic, that's trying to tell you about nutrition as they're eating their pork chop. It's crazy. It's always broke motherfuckers that are trying to tell you about finance. And I apologize for cursing, but there's no other better word than to say. You dumb bastards. I've made more money than all you guys combined, any telling you guys, just by doing things that made sense. You guys don't make no sense. You freaking, and then you talk. You guys talk like, oh yeah, I'm going to come to your tournament to support. And then when you come, you make believe you're going to judge it. And then you don't judge. You fucking thieves. And the rest of you guys who came to the door, did the right thing. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So it is a bittersweet thing. And I got to focus on the marvelous marvels of the world that show some gratitude and appreciation for what I'm doing because they understand. Because mind you guys, last event, I didn't earn any money. In other words, I lost money. This event, I'm going to lose money too. However, I see that as an investment for my first real event after the first 2 trials, and that's September 19th. That's the way I see it. As long as I don't lose that much. And that's not anything but the honest truth. I know that people are not used to what I'm doing. I'm trying to keep it 100% real. Most of you never made a dime competing. Ever. And you should have. And some of you guys right now are going to compete in some stupid tournament circuit that is made for little kids, and you're fighting like a little kid. So at the very most you'll have is 40 and above. And on top of that, you'll get paid not $1, I think, unless you made $2. You're not going to make $2.50. But you're going to follow that circuit because they have nice padded floors and a bunch of little kids are there too. Man, you guys are freaking clowns. I said it. Clowns. I personally will be competing. For those of you who want to put your foot in my mouth and fist in my mouth, go for it because I'm training. I wish I could compete at the OGs. I wish honestly I could compete at the OGs. It's a men and women circuit, not little kids. The Michelin Man. They got the headgear, they got the mask, they got the grip protector, they got the freaking, oh my gosh. We joked around with Senpai. He had equipment like that one time, and now everybody fights like that, even grown adults. I'm like, what the heck? I mean, we do that when we're training to eliminate potential injury. There's nothing wrong with that, because that's one thing I can't say. The older you get, sometimes the injuries last longer. But there's no, as you guys know, this is a whole roller coaster ride. It's a mixed bag of emotions. Because I know that, that is the right thing to do. And I know that the people who see it. But I also know that sometimes you can't just get yourself out the way. You guys have been lying so long about your skill set from when you was younger that this will expose you. That's the truth. That's why a lot of you are not competing. And when you're judging, sometimes you don't even know what to judge. Why? Because you never fought yourself. Isn't that something? But it gives you an authority now to judge. So it's going to be kind of difficult for me on that day because I know that I can't be all the places at the same time. And I do have to structure a powerful referee group. So I do need help there. So everyone's important. The spectators is important. The referee is important. The competitor is important. The timekeeper is important. The scorekeeper is important. The videographer is important. The sponsors are important. Who's not important? Those who come in thinking they're so important that they can't invest, or I should say, pay their way. Who needs you there? Because of your presence, so you're going to come and spectate, not pay, not judge, not do anything, and just walk around talking shit. There's a bunch of people that did that. I ignored it because to me, in any given room, you're going to have about, in my case, about 60% haters. But they still come and pay at the door, most of them. But they come to try to rob and steal, come up, take ideas. And I don't care because I want them to duplicate it. Please, can someone take the OG market and give it more income than I'm giving it? Give it more respect than I'm giving it. Come on, let's do it. Can you guys throw OG tournaments in conjunction with? Yes, I am going to have the ratings. Trust me, guys. I am 100%. I mean, who's doing stuff like this? They're not going to do it. They don't give a damn about you. And if they did, why do it? You guys show up anyway for nonsense. It's crazy. I'm going to go fight, and Grand Championship's going to be $200, which is more, I say, as much as the Master tournament. That's going to be a local tournament. Does that make sense? I don't think that makes sense. But it doesn't really matter, because this is what I believe. Instead of crying and complaining, I feel obligated to roll up my freaking sleeves and jump in. Great Grandmaster Aaron Banks taught me a bunch of things. He wouldn't be happy with me right now when it comes to the lack of media attention, but I'll make up that difference. I promise you I will make up that difference. And this time, I must say that if it wasn't for AI, baby, I would have a hard time, because most of the people who just talk are just talking. When I ask for help in general, I don't get anyone contacting me. But when you guys need help and you want to look good, right? When you want to look good, oh yeah, he knows Michael J. White. Oh yeah, he knows Crazy Legs. Oh yeah. He knows Billy Banks. Oh yeah. He knows Time Up the Last Dragon. Oh yeah. That's when you guys call me, right? And then they put me on the phone and I pick up, and it's just to try to make yourself look all that. You guys have been nowhere near what we're doing there. And you don't have to. I'm just saying, the truth of the matter is that I know that this is not something that people want to happen. And in spite of that, nothing's going to stop us. No stopping. No stopping. I know you know someone who has a negative vibe. And if you try to succeed, they only push you aside. They really don't have nowhere to go. Ask them where they're going. They don't know. You know the rest of the song. No stopping. No stopping. I love the fact that I am not discouraged. It's kind of crazy when I think about it. I'm genuinely excited for those who are going to be there. Happy for them. I'm going to make sure that I make that experience as positive as possible. And we got a birthday, actually two of them, the birthday bash. I want to celebrate my fiance, the lovely, incredible, wonderful, just a little bit, and Master Ty, my brother, who was here before 11 o'clock today, training, helping me, helping himself, and we have a whole bunch of content. Now, on another note, I got sniperfight.com, and this is what's interesting. I can probably do 30 techniques, or I should say combinations or what have you, and not duplicate, using footwork and ankles and fakes and repositions and different kicks, and not even replicate 10, I should say 30 different ones. Did that today, probably more than that when I break it down. And most of you guys don't know it. You guys think that the kicking and punching is what sparring is. It's not. It's the preparation, not just the mental state, but also being able to change rhythms, distance, illusions, fakes, switches. Not the lazy crap to try to reach out and touch someone with one technique. Attack by combination, which is ABC also. I'm looking forward to launching this advanced striking book, videos, and instructor certification. Because you know what? This is just the truth, guys. I am not better than anybody, but I know a lot more shit than you know. That's why I've beaten you for so many decades, since the 1980s. And your students no less than you. And I'm willing to, and I've shared more information than anybody, because it's not my information. Claudian and Billy Blank showed me how to blitz. No question about it. I took those things and systematized it. That's why It's been a consistent sea of wins. Literally, I'm not counting previous decades, but I started with 2020, and I haven't lost a match. Not a lot of matches, but I haven't lost a match. And I must say that the highlights have been pretty decent considering, and the next ones will be so much better. I think. And I know that you can get better too. So for those of you who have an ego, no problem. Don't learn. Lie. Talk about the shit you never did and never showed them the videotapes. Talk about how you got cheated and you never got rated. Talk about how you never got into what would be the covers of magazines. Multiple magazines. Or getting awards from your peers and the real legends. I've never ever really put my so-called bio or information out there. But when people think that, I think about my career as a competitor, it's about 10% of what I wanted to do. As a school owner, maybe 15% what I wanted to really do. I wanted to have 100 schools in New York. And I know it sounded crazy, but there's well over 100 Dunkin' Donuts. But people cannot stretch their mind, their mental capacity that far out. And they were limited and happy being, the big fish in a fishbowl. I remember competing with people and beating them, and I'm saying, who did I really beat? Nobody. Nobody of stature. Still would do it on Sundays. Go to Metro Gym or PAO or YMCA or any dungeon, just because I wanted to make sure that no one would talk crap. Oh yeah, he only fights with those national tournaments. How come he don't come down here? I came down there and I beat their butt there too. Because no one could talk any crap about that. They can't say shit. Never ran from any of them. As a matter of fact, in my life I realized that when I got my nose broken in 1976, right after I started Taekwondo, I started training really, really, really hard, 3 times a day. 3 classes, I should say. Sometimes 4 classes. I used to sneak in and get home late. And then when I was 14, I got my nose broken. Those Taekwondo kicks weren't working in the street, baby. Got my nose broken. And I started training even harder. Oh, man, I went crazy. I got really, really good. And then, in 1986, I got my jaw broken by Quadrant Billy Blanks. And I knew people were happy. Oh, now we finally shut his mouth. And after I was wide, I became number 1 in forms. And as soon as they took the braces off, or the wires off, I noticed my tooth was slightly crooked. But I had to go compete in the tournament. And I won Forms Grand Champion. And actually I won the Fighting Grand Champion, but Crybaby made a big stink of something. I said, you know what, I looked at him, if it's that important, you're going to have it. He ran out the ring multiple times and I beat him, but no big thing. My point was that, I always bounced back. When the Fonteness Karate operation was doing great, I had to step away because I didn't feel comfortable with what was happening with my staff, including, rest in peace, my brother. I didn't want to go to jail because of some crazy sexual thing that might have happened. Not saying anything did, but I didn't like the idea that I was vulnerable for that because of these people. So I stepped away. And then, but when I stepped away, nobody followed. Nobody was like, oh, what they did was, literally, they were happy the king was gone, and they started like doing my shit at a lower level. But even in the land of the man, the land of the blind, the man with one eye is king. Even in the land, or I should say, in the land of the blind, the man with one eye is king. So these people knew techniques, lied about the techniques, because it wasn't what would have been theirs. They never gave the source. I always gave credit. Billy Blank showed me how to blitz. Nasty Anderson showed me how to dive bomb. Grandmaster Joe Lewis was the one that taught me how to fake and reposition when I was his assistant. And I started with Supreme Grandmaster Tiger Kim. Got my first black belt from Jonas. He wasn't my instructor, guys. No. I did invent New York's finest karate academy, and I had the flyers there in 1982. So I have one of those documentations from when people have selective memory and they try to make shit up. No. I did have more students than anybody of my peers and anyone even now in New York City, because it was multiple locations. But I was young, and I didn't have any mentor. Great Grandmaster Emmett Banks, I learned a lot from him, but he was on my payroll. Let's keep it real. It was the other way around. I wasn't, he was on my payroll. But he got me to start my own TV show, and we got to do some major media. I just bumped into one of the guys, Felipe Luciano, that was the former CEO of the Young Lords, co-founder. But he was also, for those who don't know, one of the last poets. Yeah. But we're going to interview him soon. He can tell the story. I'm going to ask him. He got me on Good Day in New York. I won the Junior Internationals, Grand Champion. I won the division 4 years in a row. And Grand Champion, I won it 2 out of the 4 years. And literally, I won the internationals on a Saturday, and on Monday he got me on Good Day New York, and he quit. So he made sure that I was on the show before he left, which was awesome. Then Juan Gonzalez also, he was the director of the administrative information. He's the one that spoke to the media. He was in, he had his column, unless he still does, in the Daily News, and he did my story too. So I was like, wow, this was back in 1994. Then by 1995, I was doing some big things business-wise. 92, I was already, 1991, I was staffing firewalking seminars with Tony Robbins. I was a speaker at EFC. You guys might have seen the video, Educational Funding Company. I was a speaker for United Professionals who used to pay me $500 for 15 minutes. Imagine that. $500, 15 minutes of speaking. That's what they paid me. 10 years after, I made a total of $10,000, and I only spoke once for 30 minutes in 2 years. And then they also paid me a company called Member Solutions. Before that, it was called APS. They paid me for 15 years. 15 years on a handshake deal. And both companies, even when they took over, honored that deal. And I got them clients that I got paid off of for 15 years. Cool stuff. So I negotiated those deals. And then the rec suits, the real easy kicking suits. Rec. R-E-K. Real easy kicking. Spells like rec. Sounds like rec, but it's R-E-K, rec. To this very day, you see a bunch of my freaking ugly-ass cheap copies, cut wrong. So if I think about those things, it would get me upset. So I don't, but they matter of facts. So when people say, "Oh, look, you're Wrexham," that's not a Wrexham. That looks like a wreck. R-E-E-C-K. Can't believe how disgusting the uniforms look nowadays. Like freaking, like Power Rangers. Not even good ones. And people think they look nice. How did the United States become Europe? The Europeans learned sport karate from us. Changed it to that whackness that we see. And everyone copies. They have an open division now. It's sad because people just don't know. And I know too much history. It all changed in 1987. 1986 was the last time that sport karate, point karate, which was known as tournament karate, was like a sniper. These guys were sharp, incredible fighters. Oh my gosh. Men and women, forms and weapons, all at a different level of effectiveness and power. From 1976 to 1986. Those 10 years, I think, was the platinum era. Because before that, the guys didn't have the same footwork and fake and repositions before 76. Some of them did. Some of the standouts were like the Jeff Smiths and what you would consider Bill Superfoot Wallaces, and even Howard the Flash Jackson, he was the Flash guy, he was blitzing. And that was a technique that Chuck Norris did back in 1966. So those were like state-of-the-art techniques, but then we started adding some other flavor to it. Yeah, by the time 1987 came, things had changed, but I still had the same mentality of the 80s. That's why I could beat people in the 90s so much easier. And then my students were some of the top people. And then my students to the very day that they don't even know who the hell I am because no one's ever said the truth. New York was so far behind. I brought back techniques as far back as 1981 when I went to the U.S. Open in Florida and took first place in both forms that I made up on the spot and fighting at the Super Junior division black belt. So when I saw people fighting different and I had a growing kick was available, was open there. That was after I got my nose broken. Got my nose broken, man, I was like, forget this crap. I got to start learning how to punch. And I learned how to punch and I got really good. So anybody who trains with me know I was going to beat you up. That's just the way it was. I was going to beat you up. And my career freaking took off. By 1980, I started in 76, trained until 79, came back in 80, December of 80, after I got my nose broken earlier in the year of 80. I started training like a maniac. I was in between workouts. I was between schools. So it's embarrassing. But every time that happened, I just get stronger and stronger. Every time people think I'm gone, I come back, baby. What? That's why people don't understand. How do I still have the same passion, desire I did? Because I love this stuff. And I love it so much that it hurts when I see the freaking garbage that it's become. And then you guys have the audacity to say, oh, that's just the way things are. You freaking pussies. I'm going to get banned. I know some people are going to say, you see the way he really is? Man, I don't care. What are you going to do, not support something that you need? I don't care. Just keep it honest, man. It's like a bunch of freaking retards, man. Oh, it's like, you can't even say that no more, but it's the honest truth. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. People always make excuses about why their knees, their back, because you ain't doing shit. And then the shit that you're doing is detrimental. You hurt yourself because you threw your techniques. You didn't squeeze the trigger. You didn't align the body. You didn't learn how to get better. You was the best way back when. I know I'm a better competitor now. Better because, no, it's not the same thing. I'm not coming out with those same techniques, throwing kicks and punches, so on and so forth, at that same speed. But I know one thing. I know what to do to take me out. In other words, I'm 20 pounds overweight still. I got to get below 200 pounds, and I shall be there sooner than later. Now, once I'm there, I'm going to stay myself in tip-top shape so I can lead by example. That's my goal. And I only want to get better than me. Today I did techniques I've never done in my entire life in terms of the combination. And I was like, oh my God. So there's that much room for improvement when you're in better shape. And I am pain-free right now. But I use the tools. I use the tools that you guys think, it's a placebo. For everybody, yeah, patches freaking work. They just do. Please don't take them. Makes me no difference. And those of you who I show that the patches work, you're such a cheap bastard that you don't even invest in yourself. Like, what's wrong with you? Don't complain to me. That's why when people go through things, people go, oh, bendito. I'm like, jódete. It's like, fuck out of here. You brought it upon yourself. You don't take care of yourself, and then you want people to be sorry for you? I'm not sorry for you. It just reminds me that people are stupid, so I want to do that. And no, I'm not upset at anybody, guys. This has been just about my entire life. People always trying to tell me to, tone it down. Just take it easy. Tone it down. Why you always run so much? How come you want to raise your standards? And I was like, man, I'm around the freaking wrong people. And then when I was around the successful people, they appreciate that energy. Everybody else, you have to be docile. You have to be subservient. You have to be compliant. Man, what I understood was that We're sovereign just being alive, right? Nobody has authority over me unless I give it. I don't understand, I overstand. And other things. So, this is my rant. I'm excited, guys. I'm looking forward to those who come. We're gonna have more pictures, more videos, more laughing, more tears. And for those of you who are just miserable with your life, you've been miserable a long time. And for those of you who straight up just lied about what you didn't do, you guys are clowns, man. And for those of you who are putting yourself on the line to get better, to compete, oh my God, I'm a fan of yours. The spectators, thank you. Judges, wonderful. Competitors, oh, I'm a fan of yours. Oh, no question about it. You guys are the heroes. Not talking, you're doing it. Especially when you have those challenges. Anyhow, que será, será. Whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see, but I see it. Que será, será. We're going to do totally awesome, baby. Still number one. That's where it came from. There's been a lot of copies throughout the years, too, right? They try to confuse people. Anyway, thank you. Grandmaster Jerry Fast Feet Fontenay. A, B, C.